Over the years, the Best of the West has received hundreds of photos from the field, with tremendous trophies taken with our rifle systems from all over the world. Seeing the Huskemaw advantage at work is what it's all about. This week, we're privileged to be following 3 do-it-yourself hunters from Huskemaw Nation that are allowing us to be a part of their New Zealand experience.
So we flew into Christchurch. We get out to the rental car lot, figure out where our car is. First thing I do to go get in the driver's seat, and I get on the wrong side. I don't know what 27.5 degrees Celsius is.
Got our stuff packed in. We get inside, and the first thing I want to do is grab the wheel or hit the brake. I'm in the passenger side.
Slight left onto dirt road.
Hey, shut your mouth.
Finally get out of the parking lot. We got to turn left, and I feel like we're going to turn into oncoming traffic. It was just a little chaotic the first 15-20 minutes of driving because we were in town, and there were some roundabouts that were a little iffy.
There's not really any way you can practice in the States, so it took a little bit of getting used to. Pointed at me, and this side of the car is really weird, along with everything else that's going on in here and out there.
Till you experience this for yourself, you probably won't get how weird this really feels, being on the other side of the car and the other side of the road. Matt, Kyle, and I have known each other for several years. We've guided and hunted together in Alaska and Washington, but we've been talking about this for 3 years now, and it is finally here.
The water is just pristine, clear, like right out of a glacier. The extreme coastal, like the west coast of the South Island, is extremely what I would consider rainforest. It's just jungle. You can't even see in it one side of the road or the other. It's literally just thick brush.
We're driving into the tail end of a huge rainstorm that dumped over 20 inches in 2 days.
We ran into a spot where a bridge had actually washed out.
Hunting trips don't always go as planned. Heavy rains have washed away a bridge on the only route through the mountains to the air service. The alternate route is a long, winding 13-hour drive.
Luckily for us, the rains have stopped. The river's gone back down and it's all glacial sediment, so the river's braided back out.
We found a guy there that was operating a dump truck that you could drive your car into the back of. They'd strap it down and you could climb into the cab of the dump truck and they'd shuttle you across.
I don't think a car's making it through that one.
Not there.
It's something that probably shouldn't tell the rental car company. I don't know if that part is insured. We checked the agreement papers, and it didn't say that we could not go on a dump truck, so we took advantage of that and went on a dump truck. He climbed in, fit in like sardines, and drove across the river. It was something I didn't expect was going to happen on this trip, but I'm glad it did. It's something that will never happen again, I'm sure.
He saved us a ton of driving, and now we're on our way. We're one step closer, a little bump in the road, but we're going to get into Tahr country eventually. The 3 of us have flown together on different hunts, but I still remember Kyle telling me the story about his first experience with a bush plane. He was playing in the Alaska Summer League.
Got a crazy landing going on. Here it comes right onto the field, right behind the field, and it's on fire.
3 longtime friends are on a DIY tahr hunt in the southern Alps of New Zealand, where remote locations often require alternate means of transportation.
I've been on some flights, some bush planes, and they had me a little scared.
Former pitcher Kyle Asselton was playing in the Alaska Summer League one evening when he looked up and saw this.
There's a plane coming down onto the field, folks, right now. We got a crazy landing going on. Here it comes right onto the field, right behind the field. And it's on fire. No way did that just happen, folks.
We got to the chopper. It's my first experience in a helicopter.
Got some experience flying in bush planes in Alaska, and it's just a completely different animal. There's windows everywhere. You can look out the windows at your feet. You can look around all pretty much 360 and see windows everywhere, and it's a pretty impressive view. It kind of feels like you're flying in a tin can.
So I wasn't sure what to expect with the helicopter ride, but it actually was pretty calm. It was a really nice day. It was actually fun. As we're heading up, you start to see a little bit more of the lay of the land, and just, it started to be real life. And when we were hovering there, it really hit me just how exhausting this hunt was gonna be.
Had no idea what the terrain looked like other than from Google Earth, and it did not do it justice. We all kind of looked at each other and thought, well, what did we get ourselves into here? The bottom half is just chock full of vegetation, and the top half is literally sheer rock faces.
This place literally makes Alaska sheep and goat country look like the Great Plains. It is unbelievable. It's solid rock formations. It's some tough country to get around in. This is going to be a challenge.
Having never seen Tahr country under my boots before, kind of terrain that they inhabit is brutal, absolutely brutal. We kind of come around a little notch in the rocks, and we're able to sneak down into a shaded spot and got eyes on a couple of dozen tahr. Looked like maybe a couple young bulls in the group. Just watching them kind of jump around and do what tahr do, and they don't think they're being watched. It's kind of interesting. If it would have been us over there on that hillside, we would have been clinging with all fours, trying not to slide.
The South Island of New Zealand is over 60% mountain ranges. There are more than 3,000 glaciers in these mountains. Several of these extend all the way down to the valley floor. The view from these peaks in Tahr country is breathtaking. Literally.
I decided to go ahead and take a crack at one of the bull tahr that was in the group. Settled in behind the gun.
They whistle like a marmot.
Connected on my first shot, and he quickly darted out of sight. It's just a kind of a surreal feeling walking up to a critter that you've only ever looked at via picture, getting your hands on an animal that is halfway around the world from where you live and getting your picture taken with it. It's just a real cool feeling to have experienced that.
We came up here with pretty much a minimum rations just because of the terrain we're in. The less weight, the better. So to get some meat, to actually eat some real food, it's a good thing to happen.
These things live in some gnarly country.
It takes a while to get around to be able to navigate some of this. You can't see the other side. You don't know if there's a cut. And this is probably the gnarliest country I've ever run in by far.
It's pretty dang good. I don't think there's a tenderloin on this plant that isn't good though. I've been guiding in Alaska for over 10 years now, and coming to New Zealand and realizing after about 3 days that you don't have to look over your shoulder every other step. It's kind of a different feeling. Basically 180 degrees different of anywhere I've ever been in the States. There's no black bears, there's no coyotes, there's no wolves, there's no cats. The only thing we had to worry about was the Kias, and they were just gonna tear up our gear. They're not gonna, bury us in a big dirt pile and munch on us for a while.
The Kia bird, there was about 16 or 17 of them. They're pretty birds. They kind of remind you of a parrot. They were pests. They were all over our camp, picking at our bags, our packs, even the tent stakes. It's like they were trying to move us out. Cutting up the meat, and the fog just kept coming in, and it would lift a little bit, and then it would settle back down.
Anybody that's ever done a mountain hunt knows that that could be the end of a good mountain hunt. We don't know if it's gonna be here for 3 days or 3 hours.
Just sitting up there at camp, fogged in completely. We were working on the hide, Mac's skull. We just spotted some Tahr below us and the fog cleared out. So we're racing down there, hoping we can get a break in the fog and get one down.
Probably about an hour or so before dark, it lifted, and we spotted about a half a dozen bull tahr. We worked our way down, and I got a good rest, and they just wouldn't stop moving. They kept making their way down this steep cliff.
Done. He's down.
He was quartered away from me with the Huskemaw. I got the right range, and he barrel rolled down the hill 20, 30 yards, and that was that.
For more information about the products and gear used on today's show, please visit longrangestore.com or call 1-866-754-7618. The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Hunt & Fool, the Best of the West Shooting Systems, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskemaw Optics, and longrangestore.com. Backpack hunting in the mountains can be extremely physically and mentally challenging, even though modern equipment has helped us alleviate some of the excess weight from our backs. Going light with your gear in the Southern Alps of New Zealand is strongly advised, but extreme durability is a requirement.
I love to get out and hike back home, but it's nothing like this kind of hiking. You know, getting up there and hunting tahr in the terrain, just being able to get from point A to point B, you know, looking across, it's a few hundred yards, and you might see a path from where you are that looks accessible, and then you get over there to realize that it's straight up and down, and you got to find another route, and now you're looking straight up, and where do I go from here?
Going light, living off our backs. We're gonna take just the bare essentials, so sleeping bag, pad, tent, and some freeze-dried meals, and to know that we were 100% mobile and we could do and go pretty much anywhere we wanted. Water's pretty prevalent around, so the water's not gonna be an issue.
Got to my tahr, just seeing that creature up close was pretty awesome. You know, you see pictures and you see videos, and it's nothing like the real thing, you know. The manes, you know, how long the hair is, and the bottoms of their hooves is like a rough sandpaper. Them being able to climb just sheer cliffs with ease. We're all pretty exhausted with the hike to get there. You know, I'm working on it, and we just kind of look up. We spot quite a few bulls. Here we go again.
Like a hit to me.
Okay, so let me get on this one.
Here.
A bunch of them went right.
Come down 2 clicks.
So those other ones went up in the rock. Did you see them? Pick one of them out. We're gonna have to dial up. Top one, 237. Dial right on, you're pretty flat. Go ahead. Yeah, hit him.
We shoot, roll off the gun, trade off to the rangefinder. We're getting new ranges. We're talking to each other to make sure that the spotter's on the right tahr. We all communicated really well.
Pull the trifecta.
Yeah, we just tripled. There's tahr laying everywhere.
Having the confidence to dial to a precise range on these kind of mountain hunts, to take the guesswork out, gave a lot to my peace of mind. Put the crosshairs where I wanted them and touch that trigger off and know that the animal is going to be dead.
Yeah. It's cool to see what it could be like if you had no predators. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have predators in the States, but if they were managed properly, I can only imagine what our sheep and goat numbers would be like. This is probably one of the most exciting hunts I've been on, not just new country and chasing a new animal, but the fact that I got to spend it with 2 of my best friends. And they're 2 of the toughest guys I know, and when stuff goes wrong, they keep a level head. Couldn't ask for better company on a great hunt.
It's absolutely gorgeous country, not for the faint of heart. Be willing to get some boot work in.
Just get out there and climb them nasty rock faces and get tired and sweaty and enjoy yourself, because it's a hell of a hunt.